All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Done the New Warcry again. We're back for part two of leaks discussion and new stuff. Today's Friday now. We have another news article that came out this morning, in addition to a whole bunch of leaks. But now, jump into the leaks too quickly. We got some stuff for scenario play and all that. So we now are gonna have the 24 match play and then 6 doubles. Of course, they've scaled everything up to 20 points. They gave us some previews of some. Seize the Prize, Clash by Moonlight, Heirlooms. You can read it if you look really closely. It's just very hard to read. So I'm just not going to try. The only thing of note is that there are so many banner points in play now. I think 5 of the 6 that they've shown in this article have banner points. They are very present everywhere. So it will matter. Taking banners, the arms race is still on. But they've given us some info on these scenarios. So retrieval, it is now relics. Or sorry, retrieval has always been relics, but they're closer together. They've noted. I guess that's not one of the ones they showed. So that's good. You have an actual chance to get it. 15 inches from the corner was a bit rough for a lot of games. They tended to go to just whoever ended up breaking first and then roll off. Seize the Prize has 3 artifacts now rather than 1, which is a good change. No more blitzing 1 and running off. That was the concern yesterday with the Dwarven mirrors. You just block 1 off, give you an extra turn to grab it, and then just hunker down. But there's 3 now. The big one, Contest of Champions, allows each player to nominate a hero as a champion rather than it forcing to be the general. So the big risk of your leader being weaker in fighting is a bit gone. I'm not as much concerned with my Saruman. Lothlorien players are going to be very happy. They don't have to fight with Galadriel anymore. I think that's a good change. One thing I've been talking about with some people is the presence of veto, especially in North America. With the new scenarios and how a lot of the armies are a little more specialized, and their weaknesses tend to be in specific areas, veto isn't the greatest. And when it came to Contest of Champions, that meant if your weakness was your leader, you just ban it every time. Now it's less of an importance because you can have it be anybody, but it still speaks to where maybe veto might not be the best thing anymore. But that's just my personal views. Clash by Moonlight has an objective marker in the middle, which is nice. No more turtling in the corner. That's amazing. I'm so sick of Clash by Moonlight against shooting armies. They just stay at 12 inches away and just wait. And then you just run in and die. So that's good. Heirlooms has been updated. It's got the 6 scenarios, 6 objectives in predetermined positions. And I guess one of them is going to be randomly the objective. I'm not really sure how they're doing it. But we'll see. I mean, the scenario's there. I can't read it very well. But I'm sure we'll be able to see it clearer soon. Then we've got 6 new scenarios. They've shown us a few of them. Stake a Claim has 5 objective markers, which accumulate fortification points. I don't know what that means. Sites of Power uses the Maelstrom in battle and has 4 mysterious objectives for players to claim, which is interesting. Treasure Hoard will pit 2 armies in a rush to see which can claim the most loot. So I guess you gotta get stuff from the center. Someone posted that it might be a White Dwarf scenario from back in the day. That was for triple play. Then we have Escort the Wounded, trying to rescue casualties by taking them to their sanctuaries on the other side of the board. It sounds like Recon with a little bit extra steps. Or I guess we have a little bit of map preview on there. It looks like it's like a corner that you run them to, maybe. Reverse storm the camp. Sure. Or basically storm the camp anyway, with extra steps. Convergence splits the army in 2, and you're trying to bring important items to a key area. And then lead from the front is a classic objective scoring game. And then the objective is claimed by a hero with the highest heroic tier, which is interesting. They're giving us the 6 scenarios for doubles. They're also giving info on team events. That's something that's very common. The WTC and all that Nations Cup all use the team system. It's pretty fleshed out, so it's good that they tossed that in there. And then there'll be rules for campaign events, additional option rules and guidance on how to organize events and all that, which is nice. But that is the match play. So with that out of the way, that's the news for the day. We've got a bunch of leaks. The quick ones I'll highlight for, I've sorted them into faction. Again, I can't show them on screen because I don't want to get in trouble. I'm only going to speak about them. Gulliver has not changed from the PDF. He is move value 6 for fly. He's not move 12. That was not a misprint in the PDF. Werewolves are the same, so that stuff's not changed. Arnor is the same thing. Nothing's changed. Dwarves, we showed Durin yesterday, but we have a few more things. Dwarf Ranger. They're at 8 points. Their upgrades we saw in the list. They have a new special rule. The model gains +1 to wound when making strikes against a model that is within a piece of difficult terrain. And then the weird part is they say such as a piece of rocky terrain or a ruin. I don't know with the sentence structure whether that's supposed to mean a piece of difficult terrain or a ruin, or whether it's trying to identify ruin as difficult terrain. It is almost certainly going to need some sort of clarification. Khazad Guard, we already saw the preview of. That's, of course, in there. Iron Guard, same as last edition. They've not changed. Their intelligence is 6 up. Nothing, it's all the same. We do have Mardin's profile. So he is 80 points. I believe he was 70 last edition, or 75, rather. He is fight value 5 still. All the same things. He is up to defense 8. I recall him being defense 7, so he's been upgraded. His Might Will Fade is 2/2 now. It was 3/1/1. He's still got his special spear. And then he can do a free heroic combat similar to the shield bearer ability. If he's within 6 inches of Durin, who is engaged in combat, he can declare a free heroic combat. If successful, he has to try and join Durin. If it's not possible, he's got to go as close as he can. And of course, he can't use it in the same combat. So that's dwarves. Elves, we did get a bunch. Start with the Rivendell era stuff. So we do have Elladan and Elro here. As expected, they have been split in a manner. It is still 160 for both. And then if you do wish to upgrade horses, you have to buy for both. They are 20 points apiece, so it's 200 for the mounted. However, each of them may lead their own warband. They are separate heroes. They are not joint when it comes to their physical presence. It is a cool change. Leading warbands is awesome. They are fight 6 with a shoot of 3 up, though they no longer have bows. They can't buy bows. Still strength 4 d6, 2 attacks, 2 wounds. They are 2/2 on heroic stats. They've still got strength and strike. They've got the same rules in terms of if you kill one, they've got to go after the other guy. They've still got their twin blades that can still do the same thing. And then their new rule, Strength Brotherhood, whilst within 3 inches of Elro here, Elladan, and the reverse for Elro here, gains the Dominant 2 special rule and may reroll to wound rolls of a natural 1 when making strikes. So they get better when they're near each other. Of course, Elro here has the same thing. He is duplicate profile. They're twins, the same thing. Glorfindel, we've already seen. That's not anything new. We did get some Lothlorien stuff. Guards of the Galadriel Court are cracked. They are the exact same profile. That's not changed, which is insane because now you'll be able to proc Celeborn's bonus from 2 pike deep at fight 6, which is insanity, in my opinion. Galadriel Knights look the same. I think they might have gone up a point or down a point. I'm not sure. But they're the same profile. Their horse has a woodland creature. They have a special horse. So they've kept their equivalent Fleetfoot from last edition. Orphan. He is virtually the same. He has lost a might. He's down to 2. His rule, I think, has changed slightly, but is generally the same. If he rolls a natural 6 when making a dual roll, then he will make double the number of strikes he would normally make. I think it used to just be 1 extra, maybe, or for each 6. Note that if a model he's fighting is trapped, these strikes will not also gain the benefit of striking a trap model, because they are strikes, not attacks. Attacks are doubled. We also have Rumel. He again has lost some heroic stats. He is now 2-1-2, but past that, he is the same. Swift Parry has gotten a timing clarification. He may force one enemy model involved in the same combat as him to reroll a single d6 for their duel, and it's done before all other rerolls and before any might points are spent. So now, there was always a time where it mattered or didn't matter in last edition, but you had to know what those times were, and it was just a pain to know. Now you just don't. You don't have to worry about it. What of Sentinels? Have not changed. Or I guess Lay of Gondolin might have changed. The friendly Hymn of Elberth is the same. The Courage Test stuff. It's for a specific model. Lay of Gondolin. When he does it, all models within 3 inches of them gain terror. I think it might have just been one model before. I can't remember. The moving one is the same. So they have not been reduced like Spectres. They are still fully functional at sending models on adventures, which is insanity. Combined with the Pikes, combined with Celeborn, you basically send a model off into the abyss, so they're fighting 1 against 3. You've got 2 attacks on the Sentinel, 2 attacks on the 2 Pikes total, and all of them +1 to wound. It is just nasty. A lot of armies are not going to be able to deal with that battle line. And for 47 points of a battle line, or 49 points, that's pretty effective. So that's the elves. Got a lot of Fallen Kingdom stuff. I'm going to skip them for a minute. We do have a bunch of hobbits. Baldo is still Baldo. I never memorized all the Hobbit profiles. I'm not going to try now. There's too many named characters, even for me. But notably, Baldo still has his special rock hit. So if he rolls a natural 6 on Sauron, wound. Which is crazy, but it's hilarious. He's still got his traps. He still brings them out. They've changed it slightly in that monsters, war beasts, swarms, and chariots are completely unaffected and just remove the traps when they trigger. And it does seem to indicate that pitfalls no longer stay on the board. As soon as they are no longer active, so when the model gets out, it seems to remove from the table. It doesn't seem to say that it stays. The Battle of Bywater is the Scouring the Shire era army. They've still got their ambush rule from last edition. It's the exact same language as Birder's ambush this edition. Friendly hobbits also get Woodland Creature and Mountain Dweller. And then friendly hobbit heroes may benefit from the standfast of either Merry or Pippin. So notably, compared to last edition, you must always include Frodo, Sam, Merry, and Pippin. They are not optional. Merry, of course, has to be your general. And then all the Hobbit Militia and Merry's warband have to be Battling Brandy Bucks, and any Hobbit archers in Pippin or Paladin must be Tookish Hunters. So you have to upgrade. The 4 main Hobbits, I think, went up in points, but they also are required to have ponies now. They're just part of the profile. They're not optional anymore, which is a little nasty. But having to take all 4 is a really rough baseline for the list. That means realistically that's 120, 180. You're immediately paying 250 points for those 4 models, which for hobbits is insanely expensive, especially when Frodo doesn't do anything. But moving on to some profiles, Falco, I think his might has changed. He's 0-3-1 now. I think that's different. Falco, when he's within 3 inches, Frodo can spend Falco's will points to declare a heroic move instead of using his own might. Kind of like a Gothmog's Enforcer. And then whenever a friendly model, Hobbit model within 6 inches of Falco spends a might point, they roll a d6. On a natural 6, the might spent is free, and it does not reduce the model store of might. So it's a Banner of Rohan. Same thing. Tolman Cotton. He looks mostly the same. Friendly Hobbit models within 3 inches of him may reroll any rolls of 1 when making a dual roll. Looks the same. Something I just thought of is some of these hobbits have challenge. It could actually be useful because getting those extra dice and the wounding is actually not that bad. Frodo has been changed a little bit, I think. He can never charge anybody. He can never make strikes. And friendly hobbits treat him as a banner with 6 inches. His mithril coat, unique piece of mithril armor, and may reroll fate rolls of A1. He does have heroic defense. He can buy a cloak. He's a pretty meh profile, but you have to take him. And he's 70 points. Goldberry. I think I have this grouped as free peoples. She is 80 points. We'll get to later, but to my knowledge, she's only in the Road to Rivendell army. Goldberry has an extensively long profile. So similar to last edition, all of her stats are basically question marks. Goldberry treats all kinds of terrain as open ground and always treats the result of any climb, leap, jump, and swim test as a 6. Cannot be targeted by abilities, special rules, magical powers, brutal power attacks, or shooting attacks, even if they would target multiple models. If Goldberry is hit by a missile weapon as a result of a failed in-the-way test, the shot will automatically disappear and have no effect. Goldberry does not have a control zone. Enemy models cannot move into base contact with Goldberry for any reason unless Goldberry's controlling player explicitly allows it. If a model would be forced into base contact with Goldberry, then they will stop just before moving into base contact. Goldberry may charge enemy models as normal, and her side will automatically win any combat that Goldberry is involved in. However, when they do, friendly models may not make strikes in that combat. Goldberry may never carry objectives under any circumstances and may never be chosen in scenarios that require a player to choose a specific hero model. That is a long one. But the preview that they gave us is that she's got some songs and gets to sing. Sing a jolly song. At any point during her activation, Goldberry may spend a will point, which she has 8 of, to sing one of these songs listed below to gain the relevant effect. Goldberry may sing any number of these songs during her activation and may sing each of these songs as many times as she wishes during her activation, unless otherwise stated. Every time Goldberry sings a song, it will cost her a will point. Supper is ready. Choose a friendly model within 6 inches of Goldberry. The chosen model immediately regains a single wound lost earlier in battle. A model may only be chosen by this song once per turn. Have peace now. Choose an enemy model within 6 inches of Goldberry. The chosen model may not be activated during their player's activation phase this turn, but may otherwise act normally in all other phases. This song may only be sung once per turn. Heed no nightly noises. That is straight out of Treebeard, and that's just mean. I don't remember the books if Goldberry says anything. Choose a friendly model within 6 inches of Goldberry until the end of this turn. The chosen model automatically passes any courage tests it is required to make. Additionally, if the chosen model charges an enemy model, the chosen model will increase their fight value by 1 until the end phase of the turn. A model may only be chosen by this song once per turn. So those are her songs. They seem interesting. Within the context of the list she's in, I don't think they're amazing, but it's kind of whatever. Goldberry's waiting. Goldberry may only be included in your army if it includes Tom Bombadil. Goldberry must give up a will point during the end phase of any turn in which she was engaged in combat. Should Goldberry be reduced to 0 will points, or if there are no friendly models on the board other than herself and or Tom Bombadil, then she will simply wander off back to her homestead. Remove her as a casualty. So, can't be alone. Has to come with Tom. Pretty interesting. I have a few others between them, but I'm going to jump over to Tom quick. Just handle his stuff. Tom is the master. Same thing as Goldberry. All the long text. He has 12 will rather than 8. He's got his songs. It does the same kind of restrictions. Hey, come Merry Doe. Choose a friendly model within 6 inches of Tom Bombadil. Chosen model immediately regains a single wound lost earlier in the battle. Model may only be chosen by this song once per turn. Hop along, me hearties. Until the end of the turn, friendly models that begin their activation within 6 inches of Tom Bombadil may add 3 inches to their move value and will treat all areas of difficult terrain as open ground. Wake now, my merry lads. Choose a friendly model within 6 inches of Tom Bombadil. The chosen model immediately recovers from the effects of any magical powers, enemy magical powers currently cast upon them. Additionally, until the end of the turn, the chosen model cannot be chosen as the target of any enemy model, magical powers, or special rules. Ring-a-dong-dillo. Until the end of the turn, friendly models within 6 inches of Tom Bombadil automatically pass any courage test they are required to make. And Get Out, You Old White. Choose an enemy spirit model within 6 inches of Tom Bombadil. The chosen model immediately suffers a wound. This song may only be sung once per turn. Tom the Balrog Killer. That's what I'm going to call him. It's pretty good. He's got the same restriction as Goldberry, where he'll wander off if he's alone. Has to give up the will, that sort of thing. Past that, some more Hobbits. Hobbit Militia. They are the same profile as before. Nothing's changed. Hobbit Archers, we've already seen them with the PDF. Hobbit Sheriffs, same thing as before. Nothing's changed. Notably, they are elite now, which is interesting. And on that front, we do have the sheriffs that can lead them. Wholefoot Bracegirdle can lead Hobbit Sheriffs. And then they still have the no penalty for using their hand and a half as a two-hand. Robin is able to arrive anywhere on the battlefield in Maelstrom or reinforcements. And only can do it while containing Hobbit Sheriffs. Same thing as Lurch, kind of. Lotho, 141. Let's see if his stuff has timing this time. So he still can't do anything with heroic actions declared by Bilbo or Frodo. Lotho may spend his will points to pay off models around him in the following ways. At the start of a fight phase, before the declare heroic action step, Lotho can spend a will point to use this ability. If he does until the end of phase of the turn, friendly Hobbit models within 3 inches of Lotho gain a +1 bonus to their fight value. At the start of the move phase, before declare heroic action step, Lotho can spend a will point to use this ability. If he does until the end phase of the turn, friendly Ruffian models within 3 inches of Lotho count as having the Fearless special rule. That's cool for Sharkies. When an enemy model attempts to charge Lotho, Lotho may spend a will point to use this ability. If he does, roll d6 on a 2-up. The enemy model stops 1 inch away from Lotho instead of charging him, and their activation immediately ends. It does not specify how many times you can use this. So yeah, that question still exists. They're okay abilities. Mary, same thing as before. He's fearless now from the Warhorn. He's not really changed. I think his fight value went from 3 to 4. I don't think it was 4 before. Pippin, same thing. He's not changed. Again, besides potentially the fight increase. I don't remember his fight. Sam. If Frodo or Rosie are engaged in combat and are within 6 inches of Sam, he can do the free heroic to try and join their combat. That whole thing. Past that, he is kind of the same. He only has fight value 3, which is really funny. Will Woodfoot. I don't think he's changed, but before fight phase, or at the beginning of fight phase, before declare heroics, he could spend a will to use special rule. If he does, friendly Hobbit models within 3 inches of him gain a bonus of +1 to their fight value until the end phase of the turn. And he is also a leader of Hobbit Sheriffs, which is nice. So you can take them as well. That is all the Hobbits. Gondor, we've got a few guys from the Fiefdoms and Gondor and Minas Tirith itself. Angbor, I think he went down in might. I think he had 3 before. He's got 2. Still fearless, still mighty blow. Friendly Lamadon models within 3 inches of Angbor automatically pass any courage test they're required to take. So it does look like all the fiefs have gotten their own keyword in addition to them being Gondor. So that's their new thing. Notably, he's lost his broadsword because it's just built in now. Clansman, same thing. Whilst within 3 inches of a friendly Lamadon hero model, this model may reroll any rolls of a natural 1 when making a dual roll. So they've got a little bit of a bonus also in their fights. But past that, nothing really special. Same stat line. Bolt throwers. I hate them so much. They've gone up from 50 to 60 points. However, with that, their range is now 36 inches. I'm not happy about this. But outside that, it's the same profile. They're just going to impact the game a lot more. Dal Amroth. We have the captain and the knight. Their special rule that both of them have, while within 3 inches of Imrahil, they get +1 to their fight. Same from last edition. That's now present here. Past that, the profiles are the same. Nothing's changed. It does look like they still pay an arm and a leg for that armored horse, which is nasty. Dunehir and the Blackroot Vale archers. Dunehir does not look like he's changed. It does look like it is the same. And yeah, it's the same stuff. Nothing's changed. They have Blackroot Vale keyword, and it all functions off that. The Fiefdom's army list has everyone you'd expect. We'll get to Forlong in a second. For the White City, the first turn in which this army would be broken and therefore have to take courage tests as a result of being a broken army, all friendly models will automatically pass courage tests for being broken that turn. So you get a bonus turn of no tests. Leader of the Fiefdoms. If a friendly hero charges into combat, then during the fight phase, friendly infantry models within 6 inches of the hero that share both of the same faction keywords as the hero gain an additional +1 to wound when making strikes. So if Imrahil charges in, Dal Amroth and Gondor guys, I did it in that order on purpose because Dal Amroth and Gondor, they get +1 to wound. If Angbor charges in, all the clansmen Lamadon will get +1 to wound, that sort of thing. Forlong. His Warhorns change a little bit. It's a unique Warhorn, and once per game at the beginning of his activation, he may let out a blast. If he does, friendly models within 12 inches count as having a terror rule until the end of the turn, which is awesome. It is going to be pretty impactful when your defense is so low to stop models from charging. It'll especially maybe matter next when Legacy comes out, when you have the Men-at-Arms, and you could reposition on the few models that do get to charge, or hopefully less. Axemen and Lorsanark are the exact same. Their weapon is either a spear or a two-hand weapon. That's the same. We have the Grey Company, but the picture is really bad, so I'm going to try and read it. It also always has to have Aragorn. It's always a single warband. Aragorn doesn't pay for end rule, it's free. Ranger of the North may benefit from the standfast of any friendly unique hero model. Rangers get 2 attacks, and they are not slowed by difficult terrain of any type. And you can have Aragorn. He can pay for a bow and a cloak. Legolas, armor, cloak. Gimli, cloak. Halbrand with the banner of Arwen. Illidan and Elro here. Notably, no horse allowed. And then Rangers of the North with their normal equipment. It's okay. It's not amazing. It's an alternate to Arathorn's stand. It could be slightly better. We have Huron. Huron is the same for the most part. He has been indirectly raised in cost, being that his horse is now 20 points. No longer gets away with the cheap horse. And then his Defense of the King has been upgraded. It is now based on your general, as long as it's the Gondor keyword, so no longer based specifically on Denethor or Aragorn. And then Line of Command has been upgraded. It no longer is just slaying. It is now wounding also. So wound or slay. If he's alive, they won't get points. So it's more denial. Ingold has been upgraded to fight 5. However, his heroics have been lowered a little. He is now 2/2/2. And his ability is the exact same. Enemy models will back away even when they win. But of course, you could still be trapped. Baragond has seen a massive rework. He is now a fully functional captain. He is fight 5 himself, and he does have 2 wounds and 2 attacks, and he is 2/2/2 on heroic stats. And then his special rule, while within 3 inches of a friendly Pippin, I love how it says a friendly Pippin, Baragond may reroll any failed to wound rolls when making strikes. And then he does still have bodyguard and his longbow. That is it for Gondor. Isengard. We got beasts. The Isengard troll has seen the cost decrease that the Mordor troll got. It is 100 points. It's dropped by 10 points. It does have 4 wounds. It does have dominant 3. Unfortunately, it is still a baby troll because it is only defense 8 still with its shield. It did not see a bump. Weirdly, trolls are typically defense 6 base, The Isengard troll being with heavy armor and a shield is actually base 5. So it did not get the upgrade, which is unfortunate. I was really hoping for that. It still does have the option of taking a War Drum Isengard instead of its shield. It's okay. We'll see why it's okay in a little bit. And then it can pay 5 points for your spear. So it's got to pay for the spear, but it's probably worth it in most cases. On top of that, we've got Dale, their new army, the Army of Dale. Can, of course, take Brand, Bard, Captains, Warriors, Knights, Windlance. Has to contain Brand, has to be your leader. Dale models shoot value 3 up. Everyone's got Sworn Protector Brand. And then you've got a once per game. At the start of any move phase before the Declare Heroic Action step, you may declare you are using this ability. If you do, then during the move phase, friendly models cannot move during their activation, but can otherwise act normally. Additionally, until the end phase of the turn, friendly models gain the Dominant 2 special rule and may reroll any failed to wound rolls when making strikes. So hold ground, you get to the middle. It's going to be the end of the game, potentially. Stoic defense. Try and obliterate everybody and hold the point. It's pretty okay. Not amazing. Different sort of Dale. Brand is the exact same profile. He's not changed. Still got the 12-inch standfast. Still got the trapped situation. He is still fight 5. He has not gone up to fight 6. I'm really hoping Prince Bard II has. That would be great. Give them an actual fighter. We do have some Moria stuff. So Moria's army list, go to first. It notably does not have the Balrog. It's Durbers, Dragon, Druzog, Goblin Captain, Shaman, Drake, Watcher, and then the different Goblin Warriors. Goblin Warrior, Prowler, Drum, Cave Troll, Bat Swarm. It's got Hunting Spiders and Fellwargs, though notably they can only be in Druzog's Warband. All the beasts. So you can't spread them out anymore. They've got the trapped bonus from last edition. If a model they're engaged with would be trapped, they get +1 fight. Friendly model, Moria Goblin models gain the Mountain Dweller. And then Durbers has a once per game. At the start of his activation, Durbers may declare he's using this ability. If he does, Durbers may not move during his activation. However, all friendly Moria Goblin models gain a bonus of +2 inches to their move value until the end of the turn. Additionally, in a turn in which Durbers uses this ability, all friendly Moria Goblin models within 6 of him automatically pass any courage test required when attempting to charge a model with the Terror Special rule. So once per game, you say, get in there, you maggots, and try and get them to kill stuff. In terms of profiles, Bat Swarm has kind of been nerfed. Blinding Swarm no longer rounds down. So if you are fight 3 into a Bat Swarm, it's not going to tie you anymore. You go down to 1.5, you round up to 2. If you're a fight 7 hero, you can evade the wrath of the fight 3 Swarm of Prowlers. They're still Cave Dweller with Fly. They've still got the same stat line on all their stuff. Intelligence is 9+. They're pretty dumb. And then they have gotten the new Swarm keyword and, of course, Beast. So they're not impacting Seize the Prize. I don't know how this ended up in here, but it doesn't really have another spot to be in anyway. Though I think the Wozes are floating around. We did get Beorning and Gon and Wozes and Grimbeorn. I'll quickly do them, I guess. Beornings are the exact same. Nothing's changed. Gon is nearly the exact same. Whenever a friendly Druid end model within 6 inches of Gon that is within a piece of woodland terrain suffers a wound on a 6, then roll a d6 on the roll of a natural 6, the wound is ignored. The Wozes are the exact same. They're going to be in the paths list. We haven't seen that yet. I guess I put Beornings with the Misty Mountains group. Grimbeorn's the exact same. He's not changed. Beornings, the list composition is the same. They still have their 6-up ignore for the bear. They still have resistance to magic for everybody. They do have a new rule. At the beginning of each move phase, before the Declare Heroic Action step, you may roll d6 for each friendly bear model you have on the battlefield. If any of the d6 roll a natural 6, then for the duration of the turn, enemy models suffer a -1 penalty to any courage test they are required to take as a result of trying to charge a model with the Terror Special rule. So, gives out a penalty to charge bears. Makes it harder to lock them down. We did get the Cave Drake profile. Notably, they are beasts. Past that, the stat line looks the same. They're dominant 4. Past that, looks the same. Nothing's really changed. They have a new rule, actually. Cornered Beast. If a Cave Drake loses a duel and is trapped, then after any strikes have been made against it, the Cave Drake will lash out. When a Cave Drake lashes out, any model's friend or foe that were engaged in combat with it or are within 1 inches of it will immediately suffer a Strength 4 hit. All right. Gets angry. Anti-trapping monster tech. Dragons, their profile's nearly identical. They're now fight 8. They don't have strike anymore. I think they used to have that. Breathe fire, range 12, 2 inches of the target. Take the strength 10. Anyone that suffers a wound dies. No set of blaze, not like Smaug. Superior intellect is the spending a might point. Roll d6 on a 4-up and keep it. And then, of course, they auto pass intelligence. Tough Eye is the same. War magic is the same outside them having access to a 4-up 12-inch foil magic. They are dominant 5. They have large target. And past that, they still have survival instinct. Also a note, Cave Drakes are large targets now. Back to some goblins. Druzag. He looks generally the same. There's also, whenever Druzag suffers a wound before any fate rolls are made, he may roll a d6 on a 2-up. He may choose a single friendly beast model within 2 inches to immediately suffer the wound instead of him. Fate rolls can then be made as normal. He can pass off wounds. It's pretty cool. Still has Enraged Beast on a 3-up. Fury Beast on a 3-up. And he now has Writhing Vines on a 4-up, which is pretty cool. Durbers. Stat line looks identical. He's now got a new special rule. Once per game at the start of any fight phase before they declare heroic action step, Durbers can declare he's using this ability. Until the end phase of the turn, friendly goblin models within 6 inches of Durbers gain a bonus of +1 to wound when making strikes. However, any other friendly goblin model within 6 inches that loses a duel, not including supporting models, must roll a d6 after any strikes have been made against them. On a roll of a 1, the model suffers a wound. I think that rule is hilarious. Goblins tend to lose, but I guess if you somehow feel you have an advantage, you send them in to die. And if they fail to win, they might die. Goblin Drum is virtually identical. Nothing's really changed. They've added a new way to destroy the drum, similar to destroying siege weapons. Spend the rest of the turn in contact after you move, and don't do anything. Drum counts as a banner for the purpose of VPs as long as it's been playing. And of course, the drummers can at least one drummer has to have not moved in order to play it. You can still pass equipment. Goblin Shamans, 45 still. They have Fury, Moria Goblin on a 3-up, and still Fear on a 4-up, Transfix on a 5-up. Of course, have Channeling past that, identical. Prowlers are the same, except they now have Stalk Unseen, which is pretty cool. They can try and hide on the approach, keep them for later. They still have a 2-hand weapon and throwing weapons. Mordor, we've got a couple things. So Black Numenorians are now 10 points. Their Knights are now 20 points. They still have Terror. Their stat line is the same. Their Intelligence is actually worse than their Courage at a 7-up. And then they each have a new rule. If an enemy model attempts to charge this model and fails its Courage test as a result of the Terror special rule, then their activation will immediately end, rather than them just not being able to move that turn. Models affected by this special rule cannot shoot in the shoot phase and cannot move in the fight phase if part of a successful heroic combat, but may otherwise act normally in those phases. So if you fail to charge them, you're stuck. Good change. It kind of feels weird sometimes with Terror that you can just do whatever if you fail. We've got the first of our soup lists for this review. Army of the Great Eye. It is all of Mordor's profiles. Witch King, Ringwraith, Gothmog, Mouth of Sauron, Guritz, Gothmog's Enforcer, Shagrat, Gorbag, Morannon Orc Captain, Mordor Orc Captain, Troll Chief, Taskmaster, Urkai Captain, Numenorian Marshal, Shelob Drummer, Morannon Orc, Mordor Orc, Mordor Warg Rider, Urkai Troll, War Catapult, Siege Bow, Numenorian Knight. Always has to have a Ring Wraith as the army's general. And their big ability that they pay for with the lack of specificity in the army and have such a broad scope. The Great Eye. It's not really that good. This is a long one. At the beginning of the game, place a 25mm Great Eye marker on the battlefield in your deployment zone. At the end of each move phase, remove the Great Eye marker and roll a d6. On a 2+, you may place it anywhere within 6 inches of where it was. On a 1, Sauron has been distracted, and your opponent may place it anywhere within 12 inches of where it was. The Great Eye marker can never be placed so that it overlaps another model's base. The models may finish their move overlapping the Great Eye marker. Friendly models treat the Great Eye marker as a banner. Enemy models within 3 inches of the Great Eye marker suffer a -1 penalty to any courage or intelligence test they are required to take. This is the fun part. If your opponent's army contains a ring bearer, with the exception of Sauron, then if during the end phase of any turn they are wearing the ring and within 3 inches of the Great Eye marker, they must roll a d6. On a 3-up, they succumb to Sauron and are immediately removed as a casualty. I think that is a hilarious rule. I think it's okay. It's ultimately pretty bad. I mean, you're just getting access to all the Mordor stuff. I feel like you can probably do it in Legions of Mordor. Probably do that better. But, you know, this gives a little more flexibility with how you build the Witch King, which I guess could matter. And I guess combining all the different Fortitude heroes into something of worth. But it's whatever. Rohan, we've got a few. Dwarven has had their stats changed. They are now 2/2/2 on heroics. They still have their Theoden heroic combat rule. They can lead Royal Guard. And past that, they're the same. Horse, 20 points. They cost 90 together. Elfhelm has seen an upgrade. He is 2/1/2 on stats, and he has 3 attacks now. Past that is the same. It's a pretty good bump. 3 attacks is a pretty nutty for a 60-point model, or 80 on the horse. I think that's actually pretty awesome, especially with his throwing spear rule that he still has. We have the Fords of Isen list, with Theodred leading, of course, in Elfhelm. Behind him, Captain Rohan's, Warriors, Riders, Royal Guard. Friendly models get Sworn Protector Theodred, same as Theodred's Guard last edition. If your army is broken, friendly models gain the Dominant 2 special rule. And then the Courage of Elfhelm. If Theodred is engaged in combat within 6 inches of Elfhelm, then enemy models may not strike against Theodred. If there is another friendly model, they could make strikes against instead. It's okay. I was expecting 50% throwing spears in this list. I'm a bit disappointed, even though I would have hated it. But the Grief of Eomer, we have the list for. It's got Eomer, of course. So notably, it's really weird because Pelennor, of course, the Rohan contingent all have to be mounted. This list does not have to be. All the horses are optional. So you have Eomer, who can optionally take Firefoot. So you could take him on foot if you really wanted to. I don't see why you would, but you could. You've got Imrahil, both of them at Legend. Huron at a Valor. You've got Captains of Rohan, Captains of Dal Amroth, Captains of Minas Tirith. And then you can take Warriors of Rohan in this list, which is really weird. I guess it is more of a book army, but I'm pretty sure that the Riders of Rohan were mounted there too. But you could take Warriors of Rohan. You could take Riders of Rohan, Knights of Dal Amroth, Warriors of Minas Tirith, and Knights of Minas Tirith. No Rohan Royal Guard. Of course, the list has to contain Eomer, and then you can only put Rohan in Rohan heroes, and you can only put Gondor in Gondor heroes. The rules are Eomer's Wrath. He is always treated as being under the effects of the Price of Grief special rule, as expected. He always is going to be angry. And additionally, he gains a bonus of +1 fight on a turn in which he charges. Don't love that the fight bonus is tied to charging. I think half the time he won't be. So it's a bit bad, but I mean, he gets it sometimes. Fear no enemy. Eomer gets the Fearless special rule, and then friendly models that can draw line of sight to Eomer automatically pass any courage tests they're required to take, so they're angry. And then Ride of Dal Amroth. Friendly Gondor models may reroll to wound rolls of a natural 1 when making strikes in a turn in which they've charged. Okay. I mean, it's okay. I don't think it's amazing, but it's... past that, we're going to dip back to the Fallen Realms where we have a ton of stuff. I already went at the Numenorians. Dalamir, he's not changed. He's fight value 6 now. I think he was 5 last edition. He's still 2/2/3 on his heroic stats. I don't understand why he doesn't have 3 might. Smoke Bomb's the same. Preternatural Agility is the same. He's basically the same profile. He's 4 up intelligence. Pretty smart. Dogomar is, again, basically the same. I don't think he's changed whatsoever. So, Arbalesters have been renamed to Crossbowmen. They are the same. We have the Grand Army of the South army list. It's got everyone you expect and more, because it is the Farharad Mumok War Leader. It's got the Serpent Horde Suladan group. It's got the Corsairs. And then for some reason, it's got the Easterlings. So really what it is it's all the evil men at Pelennor. I don't know why. But it's got the whole shebang of all those different groups. It still has the restriction, Corsair and Corsair, Harad and Harad, Easterling and Easterling. And then friendly models get a bonus of +1 to any courage test. That is their soup rule. It's pretty bad. But maybe someone finds some cool combo. I feel like Legions of Mordor is just a better way to do it. Hasharan are 80 points, fight 5. I think they're the same across the board. 1 might, 1 will, 3 fate. Defense and strike, can't be trapped. That sort of thing. They have General Hunter. I think they might add Blood and Glory before. I can't remember. Raza is the same outside. He can lead Serpent Guard, which is, they are elite. We haven't seen them yet, but they're elite. And then he still has his +2 fight value secret objective. We have Sharky's Rogues. It's basically as we expect. It's not really changed much. Sharky Worm, Sid, Rowan, Fernie, Lotho, Ted, Ruffians, Militia. Militia, I assume, only being taken in Ted. Oh yeah, it says Hobbit warriors can only be included in the warband of a Hobbit hero. So I guess Ted and Lotho. Always has to include Sharky, and then they still have captainless warbands, but you have to take all the named heroes first. So in most point levels, you probably don't do that. Sharky Standfast is a whole battlefield. I think it used to be like 12. Strength in numbers. Well, it's not broken. They gain a bonus of +1 to any courage test they're required to take for Ruffians. Wizard's Command. Ruffian models within 6 inches of Sharky may use his courage instead of their own when making tests. Sharky's Wrath. Sharky gains a Hatred Hobbit special rule. And then the Chief's Whips. Ruffian models gain a bonus of +1 to hit when making a shooting attack with a whip. All right. It's whatever. I am surprised Wildman didn't make it in here. It felt like they were going hardcore into the book stuff, or more thematic, and Wildman were explicitly there. But I'm just angry. Suladan. Oh, look how they massacred our boy. He's now 120 points base, and that's it. That's the only change. He's got Leader, Serpent Guard, and Serpent Rider. Okay. And he can take an Armored Horse for 25 points. Yeah. He has gone up almost 50%. Now, he was too cheap, but that was also in the context of the alliances. I don't think he is now. Now I think he's way overcosted. I think he's kind of dead. He's still got a 6-inch batter, sure. He's still got a 12-inch standfast, sure. But he's 3/3/1, 3 wounds, D5. And now he's 145 points in most situations. That's rough. I don't see him seeing nearly as much play as he did before. That's just a matter of fact. Serpent Horde. Speaking of Suladan, it's all the Haradrim guys. No war leader in that army, but it's got all the other Haradrim people, and of course Serpent Guard and Serpent Riders. Always has to have Suladan, and then can have 50% of bows, so it's Harad adjacent. Friendly models with poison attack bows exchange it for poison attack on all their weapons. So long as Suladan has will, friendly elite models gain the Swarm Protector Suladan special rule. So Serpent Guard and Riders are going to be fearless, essentially. And then once per game at the start of any fight phase, Suladan can use his Lethal Toxin special rule as long as he's alive and on the battlefield. If he does, then friendly Herod models gain the Bane of Kings special rule until the end phase of the turn. It's treated as active ability belonging to Suladan. So it's reroll of wounds to everybody against heroes, which just, I guess, is instead of the poison. Sure. We have Umbar, Dalamir, Delgamar, Haradrim, Harsharan, Corsair captains and bosuns, Numenorian marshals, Haradrim warriors, Corsairs, and Numenorian warriors. Notably, no Corsair crossbows. what list are they in? Oh my god. Oh man. All right, let's do the quick ones. Friendly models have the Stalk Unseen special rule, so okay. And then everyone has Hatred Gondor. Okay. This is the big one. Seize command. If during the end phase of any turn, your general has only a single wound remaining and is within 3 inches and line of sight of a friendly Hasharan, you may choose to remove your general as a casualty. If you do, you may immediately choose another friendly hero to be your new general. This must still be a hero with the highest heroic tier remaining. The previous model loses the general keyword and no longer counts as a general for the purpose of special rules or victory points. If a Hasharan is your general, they cannot use this special rule to kill themselves. A different Hasharan would have to be within 3 inches to use this special rule. So if Dalamir gets reduced to 1 wound, he's going to kick the bucket, and then Delgamar is going to take over. And then down the line, succeed or die. It's okay. Past that, we got nothing else. That's everybody. But what we do have is the Legions of Middle Earth section, and it says what armies can models in this third book go into. Now, I'm not going to read all of these. There are dozens of these. Almost every profile in this third book fits into some of the other books. So I'm just going to go down and kind of pick ones that makes the most sense to highlight. So Black Numenorian warriors are going to be in Barad-dûr and Legions of Mordor. So you will be able to take them in the Pelennor soup list. In my home state of Isengard, White Hand, Muster, and Assault on Helm's Deep will both get Uruk-hai Shaman and Isengard Trolls. Which I didn't expect Isengard Trolls in White Hand. I expected the others. Shamans, I expected there. I'm interested to see how much the Shamans actually cost. We haven't seen it yet. It could be a weird way to make Uruk White Hand work. I still don't think it works personally to the level of Hobo White Hand, but this could change it, though getting the right composition thus far has proven difficult. I played around with it earlier. It was not easy. On top of that, all the Easterling guys that we went over yesterday have been added to Legions of Mordor, in addition to all the Haradrim that we went over today. A lot of the Gondor guys got added to Minister at the Top of the Walls and Pelennor, some to Men of the West. Notably, Huron is in Minister at the Top of the Walls, Defenders of the Pelennor, but not Men of the West. Baragon made it to the Men of the West. The Bolt Thrower is in Minister at the Top of the Walls and Pelennor. So yeah, we're going to see Legolas Bolt Throwers. Imrahil did not make it into Atop the Walls. He's in Pelennor and he's in Men of the West. But he cannot take an armored horse and lance in Men of the West, so he doesn't have the option like the other heroes. He is only on foot there. Past that, a bunch of the fiefdoms guys made it in Pelennor. We now are able to take Halbarad and Rangers of the North in Pelennor. I don't know how good they are, but you can. Glorfindel made it into Linden and Rivendell finally made his way home. Elend and Elrier can be in Defenders of Pelennor and Men of the West and Rivendell. We got the bunch of the Lothorian guys added. Wood of Sentinels can also be in Halls of Thranduil, which is cool. A few others. All the Hobbits made it into the Shire. Tom Bombadil and Goldberry are in Road to Rivendell, so they're not in anywhere meaningful, in my opinion. The Rohan heroes made it into Kingdom, Riders of Théoden, and Defenders. So that's everybody for today. This is a longer one. By now, we've seen most of the leaks. I don't think there's that many that we're missing. Just some few notables. but I'm sure we'll see them soon, and then there'll be an additional video coming up. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you later.